Bodybuilding programs and protein use. The average person gets about 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of their body weight, and that may be perfectly fine for them. In fact, in some cases, that amount might actually be a little high. On the other hand, bodybuilders who are serious and dedicated athletes may need to increase their protein intake to as high as 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. It is a myth, however, that they get their huge size from this increased protein intake. That is simply not true. There are some bodybuilding programs that imply that protein intake should be as high as 2 grams per kilogram of body weight, but that amount might be too high and can actually be more harmful than good in the long run. Protein is important, but only when it is in the right amounts and, as you will see, the right types. There are certain types of protein that are not recommended for the typical bodybuilding programs. Bodybuilding programs and genetics. The number one bodybuilding protein myth is that people gain incredible size by eating higher amounts of protein. While protein does play an important role in bodybuilding programs, it is not the most important part of it and certainly not the reason that the body gets so much bigger. For a bodybuilder, getting big is a combination of good genetics, hard work, and a serious training program involving more than 3 or 4 hours in the gym during the major training season. In the week before a competition, a bodybuilding program may suggest that water, sodium, and carbohydrates be decreased. Water and sodium both affect the way that water is retained in the muscles. Carbohydrates are decreased for that week because of the way that glycogen is stored in them. These recommendations change on the day before the competition. On that day, the bodybuilder consumes no water at all and may even use diuretics. They will also start carbo loading to bulk up and increase the overall appearance of their muscles through the replenishment of glycogen. At this stage of a bodybuilding program, the goal is to maximize leanness and the visibility of the veins. There are other ways to increase the appearance of veins, which are very desirable during competition. Bodybuilders may also use weights just before hitting the stage to make the muscles contract and the veins fill with additional blood. Bodybuilding programs tend to have several steps, including strength training, special proteins, and adequate rest including sleep and recuperation between workouts. A bodybuilder will work one muscle group one day and then rest it while working another muscle group the next day. As the body adapts to workouts, most bodybuilding programs change up what is expected in the program. Bodybuilding programs and muscular hypertrophy. The process of weight training actually sounds like a horrible thing when you break it down. First, you have to understand the muscles themselves. Each muscle is made of long, smooth muscle fibers and shorter muscle fibers. Each type of fiber does a different job. Some lengthen and stretch, while some contract and collapse into themselves. When you pick up a weight, the muscle group you are working contracts to lift it and then extends to put it back down. This causes little tears inside the muscle, often referred to as micro-trauma in the medical world. These little tears are first responsible for the delayed onset soreness you feel after a really long or strenuous workout. As the body repairs these little musculatures, muscles grow. There are actually two kinds of muscular hypertrophy, and bodybuilding programs will emphasize one over the other depending on the desired outcome. They are sarcoplasmic hypertrophy and myofibrillar hypertrophy. The former leads to larger muscles and is usually accomplished by using higher repetitions. The latter is used for athletic strength and is accomplished by using heavier weights. Most bodybuilding programs rely on both types of hypertrophy so that the body does not adapt to the workout and stop working as efficiently. Adapting means that the body gets used to the number of reps or the amount of weight, or both. Bodybuilding programs and protein. One of the most important factors in bodybuilding programs is good overall nutrition. Carbohydrates give the body the energy it needs to power through the workout. Protein helps build and rebuild the muscles. Motor protein, which is a combination of actin and myosin, generates force by contracting the muscles. The body needs a protein that is the highest biological value, such as that derived from eggs or whey. However, most experts suggest that soy be avoided because of the low dose of estrogen it contains. Most bodybuilders rely on 5 to 7 meals, all roughly the same size, to keep their basal metabolic rate up. They eat every 2 to 3 hours, with very carefully defined calories during the weeks leading up to actual competition. Some will change their eating the week of competition and start carb loading or bulking, which is hard on the body and may lead to an unhealthy gain in weight. Those who are not in competition tend to try to eat and train in a steady way for the entire year to maintain their big, but not overly big, physique. Bodybuilding programs and protein supplements. To keep up with their sport's rigorous demand for protein, most bodybuilders turn to protein supplements, including whey proteins and others. ProfectR, from Protica, is a small but powerful protein supplement. It contains 25 grams of protein per 2.9 fluid ounce serving and has only 100 calories. It also has no added fats or carbohydrates and each serving comes in a number of refreshing, fruit-based flavors. Visit Protica.com for more details.